the Bar Chemist, and welcome to our first episode of our new podcast, Talking Tipsy with Concoctions. Today, we have a very special guest. Some of you may already know him. Some of you are going to get to know him and his wife. And I am proud to introduce our special guest of the day, none other than Councilman Richard Wyatt and his devastating beauty, Hanae Wyatt, the board vice president of Plainfield, New Jersey. Welcome to Talking Tipsy, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Tell the people about yourselves.
So my name is Hanae Wyatt, as she just stated. I am most of my lifetime resident of Plainfield, New Jersey. I went to school here from first grade all the way up until high school. I am the vice president of the Plainfield Board of Education. I am a mother of 3 beautiful children, Richard Wyatt III, Ryan Wyatt, and Raina Wyatt. All of my children go to school here in the district. They've been going to school here since kindergarten. We love raising them here in Plainfield. We love Plainfield. I'm very passionate about the youth and public service. I am a community leader. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. My home chapter is the Alpha Gamma chapter at Morgan State University, where I did graduate with the Bachelor of Science in Biology. I currently serve with the Central Jersey Alumni chapter. This is my lovely husband, Richard Wyatt, who, yes, he is now, Councilman-elect, actually, until he takes that seat in January. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a notary public, a loan signing agent. I have a consulting business and a custom design business, as well as event planning.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Wyatt, known to many as Ritty, born and raised right here in the city of Plainfield. Graduated from Plainfield High School, the class of 2004. After that, matriculated to Morgan State University, graduated from Delaware State University with a business administration degree in finance. Also, after college, I moved back here to the city of Plainfield, where I started working here. I work for the city of Plainfield, have a nonprofit, Gentlemen Making Changes. So what we do there is we mentor to the youth. So for those that don't know me, real active in the community activist, which led to me then becoming a board member for 6 years, served 2 years as the president of the Plainfield Board of Education. After that, I decided, you know what, it's time to run for mayor. And it wasn't me making that decision, it was the people within the community. Ran for mayor, came up a little short that year, following year.
That's all right.
Bounced back the second year, ran for city council, second and third ward at large, where I was successful and waiting for November to be back on the ballot.
But right
in
now,
January when
my son plays middle school football, so he's at practice during the day, and then he's at practicing in the evening. In one direction, he plays for the Plainfield Vikings and the middle school Cardinal football team. My middle son, he plays for the Plainfield Titans, so he's in a different direction. And my daughter cheers for the Lady Cardinals competition cheers team. So we're very busy in the evenings. In addition to running our children around, we frequent a lot of the community events. We like to show up and be present. We like to make sure that the youth in the community and the residents of the community know that we're there for them, and we try to be present at as many events as possible. Does it usually conflict with what we have going on as a family? A lot of times we'll try to bring the kids along, and if they're not able to come, then we make it work. I mean, this has been our lives for a while. It only gets busier, but at this point, I would say we've mastered it by now.
I'd say so.
Yeah, so we try to still have our family time, incorporate our family time, and make sure that, we're keeping it together, staying happy and healthy.
You guys are doing a great job, for real. You guys are like my mentors, my role models. I really look up to you guys. So, and I know the people of Plainfield, New Jersey, look up to you guys as well. So
I have to give back to my community. So, like I said, I graduated from Plainfield High School, and when I got to college, I wasn't prepared as I thought I should be. So I looked around at some of the students, and I graduated number 5 in the class from Plainfield High School. Went to Morgan State and was like looking around like, okay, I didn't learn that. I didn't learn this in Plainfield. So I felt obligated to come back and make sure that I exposed the youth to those things that I didn't know. Came back, started the mentor program, which led to running for the school board. So we started the Dad's Club at Cook School And that was just to get the fathers more involved, in the schools. So if you look, you go look at the PTO meetings, the back to school nights, it's constantly the moms there or the women there.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? The dads need to be present and show that we are here, or, just father figures need to be present. So we started the Dads Club. That was successful, and the people started saying, hey, you should run for the school board. So, I ran for the school board, served 6 years there, had an agenda, wanted to get things done. But as soon as I sat at the table, I realized that politics aren't everything. And, when you sit at the table, you think, everybody's here for the kids. We all want the same things. But people have different perspectives and how to get things done. So we all respect one another. But it was just like, okay, this isn't for me. In order to get things done, I need to go just a little bit higher. So that's what, made me say, it's time to run for mayor. Constantly people was telling me in the community, like, you should run, Riddy, you should run. Joking, Riddy runs the city. So, but then when I actually did, a lot of people were shocked. So they was like, okay, wow. So he's not a person that just talks the talk, but he walks the walk. So that's one of the reasons that made me say, it's time to really get involved. Don't sit on the sidelines and complain. Get active.
Right.
And and people tell me all the time, like, how did you do it? I've been thinking about it. And it's a quote that says, if not now, when? If not us, who? So now is our time, and that's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. She's doing the things that we're doing, and we have a dynamic team who's doing the same thing. So
super dope. Wow. That's super dope. My favorite quote is, one of my favorite quotes actually, is be the change that you want to see. So as you can see, they're the epitome of being the change that you want to see. Like he said, you can't talk about it, you got to be about it. A lot of times, even with myself, I work in the school system and a parent at the same time. So, as a parent, we have concerns, we have questions, and instead of sitting on the sidelines, we can actually get involved. Get involved in your local PTA, go to your board meetings. If you want to see some type of change, the best thing to do is to express it, to voice your opinion. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, but trust me, they're listening, and they're just going to try to figure out a way to incorporate what you want to bring to your community. So don't ever think that your voice is not heard, because it's always heard. It's always heard. Inspired you. Name, let's say, the top 3 people in your life that you feel like inspired you.
Top 3 people in my life that inspired me. Well, my grandmother, who's no longer with us, but she inspired me in a lot of ways. I moved to Plainfield at the age of 6 from Newark, New Jersey, where most of my family resided at the time. I did have family here, but I moved to Plainfield at the age of 6 with my grandmother and my father. And, she was older when I moved here, but she was a strong Black woman taking care of her children. And then she welcomed us with open arms and helped my dad to take care of us and made sure that we were good. But she always instilled good morals and values in me. She instilled the love of reading in me at a young age. I used to love to read. All I did was read, listen to music, and play sports. And then she taught me how to be authentically myself and to be strong and not necessarily have to feel like I have to lean on somebody or need somebody to stand up and do what I have to do for me and mine. So, those are values that stuck with me, and that I, a lot went on in your childhood. As you grow, you go through a lot of things, you go through trials and tribulations, but at the same time, if you keep certain morals and values with you that you're taught by your elders, whether it's your parents or your grandparents, then
it's a consciously stays.
Yeah, it sticks with you. Mm-hmm. Certain situations, maybe you don't react the same, but I would say, my grandmother, absolutely, my godmother, my aunts. Like I can't really pinpoint it to 3 people.
You won't leave nobody out
because there's so many people, that poured into me and helped me to become the woman that I am today.
Right.
And although none of us are perfect, I feel like I had the perfect combination of so many variables who poured into my life that I've been able to learn from and grow from. And I'm still learning and growing at this point. I'm a mom now. We have a daughter we have a daughter that's a diabetic. So that's a struggle in itself. And that was new to us both. So being a mom who I've always been interested in like science and medicine, but being a mom that has to take that on, and then having a daughter that's taking that on at such a young age, that teaches you a lot. So like I said, we're still learning, and I'm still learning from people in my life whether they're older or younger, or I'm learning from my children every day. I learn from my daughter every single day because she's strong and resilient and has this big, bright personality where it's like nothing can stop her. But she lives with this life-threatening she lives with this life-threatening condition every day where you never know what's going to happen. But it's like she just pushes through. So she perseveres. So it's just, it's astonishing. It's amazing. And like I said, it helps me to keep going. It teaches me. I want to be better, not just for her, for myself, because the more that I'm better for myself, I'm better for my husband, I'm better for my children, my friends, my siblings, everybody around me. So I work every day at being a better version of me. And I learned that from all of the people who poured into my life, who continue to pour into my life.
How about you, Councilman? 11? But Councilman, look.
That's right.
Councilman.
Yeah, like Hanae stated, 3 is very difficult, but I'll try my best. Of course, my ancestors, my grandparents, my parents. So I'll just sum that up as my family. Just watching them, the things that they instilled in me, the things that they taught me, the morals, the values, how they don't take no nonsense. So I have all of that in my bloodline. So family, of course, is, the number one. 2 is, as funny as it sounds, is Barack Obama. So in 2008, when he did that, it was, you take a seat back and you just looking, it just was like, he said, yes, we can. Although we were younger, it was like, you know what, we can do this. So I never thought about getting into politics. And a lot of people that I watched in positions of power, they treated power like almost the movie Thor. So only Thor could pick up his hammer because he's the only one that had that power. So a lot of times people, they get power and it's like, this power is just for me. They don't have anybody in the pipeline. They're not grooming anybody. They don't have anybody under the wing. So when I looked at that, it was just like, you know what? I believe I could pick up that hammer. And I just don't only want to pick it up. I want to make sure that it's a group of people behind me that can also pick up the hammer and know that this hammer belongs to you. So Barack Obama, by saying, yes, we can, I believe in that. And to see him, a person that looks like us, to have that representation in one of the highest offices was very inspirational and motivational. For a third one, I would say my personal family that I made, my wife and my children. So watch them, the obstacles that they go through in life, watching their growth, and watch how they push me. So even my wife, she pushes me all the time, but looking at my children, so I'm looking at.
That's right.
Well,
She's like, my husband. I can't wait to say that. My husband.
When you look at my oldest little Riddy, so he's secretly in competition with me, so it's a friendly competition. Wow. But it's good. So he's like, you know what, my dad's doing this.
So you gotta do it right,
So he's like, my dad's doing this, so I'm going to make sure that I take it to the next level.
Right.
And I believe it's my job to make sure that I provide him with the tools and the education and the necessary things to make sure that if I put the bar here, then he elevates to here. And his brother Ryan follows it.
Sponsored by Bacardi. That got a nice little ring to it. Talking Tipsy, sponsored by Bacardi. And of course, because we're making margaritas, we have Patron, in other words, Pat Ron, nickname, aka. And I want to ask you guys, being in politics, I know sometimes it can be a little bit hectic, balancing the life in politics. What do you feel like people most misunderstand about you?
In the words of John Legend, we're just ordinary people. So
we're just ordinary.
A lot of people, they, in all politics, they put people on pedestals and they look at them like, oh, they're just not ordinary. So I think that people misunderstand that. They look at me a lot of times. I was hearing things on a campaign trail before. It was like, I look like I'm unapproachable. What else do we hear?
Who said that?
Yeah.
Many people, yeah.
Really?
That you don't care about anybody but the youth.
Yeah.
We don't care about anybody else but the youth.
No.
And the unapproachable, that was a big one.
Too
young. I was getting that I was very mean. When, you just have to take the time to get to know me. I'm not very mean. Sometimes it might look that way. So that is a misconception. And I've been working on that, because if I'm not smiling, it can look, it does look a certain way, but I'm human. I don't walk around smiling 24/7, but I do talk to everybody. My husband talks to everybody. If you just take a moment and talk to us, then people will realize, and we've gotten that too. Like, oh, we didn't know you guys were so down to earth and that you were so, just like everybody else. And it's like, well, why not? Did you talk to us? Did you try to approach us? So I think, like my husband said, that is the biggest conception. Like people not understanding that we're just like everybody else. We're no different. We got the same struggles. We got the same problems. We wake up in the same community. It's not going to take my husband, even when he becomes the mayor. It's not going to take just that. It's not going to take him getting on the council and being able to make decisions solely, because it doesn't work like that. Talk to us. We're ordinary people. We're very approachable. We're very loving. We welcome you with open arms. We have an open door policy, and we're always there to help whenever there is a need. And when I say whenever, I mean that. Ask the people who do love us and work with
like
us
me?
and understand us.
I admire them. That's why they're here on the show, because I really do admire them, and I want you guys to know more about them. I want you guys to appreciate them just as much as I do, and I know that you guys do. I know there are people in the community of Plainfield
Absolutely.
that love you guys, even if they don't say it. I know that they do, because I do, and if I love you, then
I mean, that's it.
Right. It's like nothing else to say, period. So we have the coconut margarita.
Oh, this is nice and bubbly. This looks straight out of the lab for real.
Yes.
Something in my chemistry class.
You guys recently started a library, like a community library in front of your home. Tell us more about that.
Okay, yes, we partner with Sindel Bookstore.
Shout out to Sindel Harris. Hey, girl.
Shout out to Sindel.
Yes.
Also, Park Terrence Johnson.
Hey, Terrence.
Hey, T-Bone.
Those organizations. So we sat down and we met. This was months ago, and we said, you know what? We want to do a full attack on illiteracy. So he's like, you know what? We need to start making sure that we enforce how important it is for our youth to read books. So how long we all heard that saying that if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. And now you fast forward, we have so many people that's like, you know what? Reading is boring. I don't feel like reading. These don't help. Phones don't help. So it's like, you know what? We need to just make sure that we find a way to make sure that we increase the way, one, for children to get books. So that was the first little library that we had. We're doing a total of 6 throughout the community. And it just really consists of making sure that people come and they get the books. They can bring books. So many people donated books, but we just want to make sure that we providing the opportunities for our youth to be able to read.
And how is anybody able to donate books to the libraries?
Yes. So they can reach out to myself or Sindel Harris, Hanae, or Terrence Johnson and donate books. So,
and actually, it's like an exchange. So you visit the free little library. Obviously, there are books in there, but people are coming to take the books out. Some people don't exchange the books, where you can actually put back books in. So like, if you have a book that, yes, it's like an exchange. If you have a book that you are done with, you don't want to keep, you want to donate, you take a book out, you put that book in. Wow. If for some reason the library is not replenished, which we try to make sure we keep it replenished, we literally check it every day. It's right in front of the house. But
like
we want to we want to make sure that we keep a variety of different books in there. Some books for the younger children, some books for adults. We're right across the street from a school, so obviously we'll pack it with books for that age group, the K through 8 range, because we really want them to utilize it. The school system, the school district does a great job with providing books. Right. All of the principals, Mr. Asante does a good job of making sure that the classrooms or libraries are stocked with books, the school library. But we wanted them to get the experience of walking by a library without visiting the Plainfield Public Library, which we encourage, absolutely. But walk past the bookstore, the free little library, and look in it and see what might interest you. Read the back of the book, read the prelude. So it's more interactive for them. And so that's what we're encouraging. And, you can donate by, reaching out to us and just putting your books in there. And there are more coming in various locations around the community. So look out for them. We will put the locations up as they come along. And if we have future locations, we'll let you guys know. But we'll have books in all genres and for the entire population of Plainfield.
Nice. So I want you guys to take a little tasty drink.
Yeah, I was just about to say this cocktail is amazing.
Let me see.
Ooh, thank you. We don't make drinks, we create them.
Yes.
And what's in this again?
Okay, so of course, sponsored by Bacardi. We're gonna use good old Patron. We got took it way back, got a little pineapple CNC soda to give it a little fizz. I used some fresh coconut water, fresh lime, and that's pretty much it.
Wow.
It's an easy cocktail.
Let's see, you got some fruit in here too. Pineapple and lime.
Garnished with the pineapple leaves, fresh pineapple. So little refreshing cocktail.
It's good.
Straight from the lab.
So let me ask you a question. What brought this on? I mean, what is the genius behind the concoctions, mixologist brand, and your platform of wanting to sit with members of the community and have a conversation while making your delicious drinks?
Okay, so honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I never really wanted to be a bartender. But I was working for the company in Red Lobster. Shout out to Red Lobster in Harlem. I'm never going to forget y'all, for real. Because it really did mold me and shape me to be the bartender that I am today. I kind of was thrown into the mix. They needed somebody. They was like, oh, you got the personality. Just go down there. I'm like, they ended up keeping me down there every Sunday. And then next thing I know, I'm a full-time bartender. I just was, my guests, they were like my little guinea pigs. Try this. Taste this. So I was just sitting at the bar one day. I'm like, I'll be coming up with my little concoctions. And I'm like, concoctions. 2017, concoctions was born. And we've been doing events ever since. Now the podcast, I'm not going to lie. Jamal came up with the idea of coming up with Talking Tipsy with concoctions. And, just getting some influential people that, may be misunderstood, may be a role model, just people that are just inspiring to the nation, to the community, and just sit down with them, like you said, and just have a conversation with them and let the people get to know them for who they really are outside of what they do. So Talking Tipsy was born. And here we are.
I love it. I love the idea.
First episode.
Yes, and because I am a mobile bartender, give the people some encouraging words. Back to school is coming up. And I know I'm nervous. I work in the school district. It's a big thing. So give us some encouraging words. Give the kids, the youth, anybody that might be struggling with the jitters of back to school.
So for one, I'm going to say that I am very excited that school is about to start again. Not because I'm ready for my kids to get out of the house, but these last few years have been very trying. And I'm going to say trying because it's been trying in so many different ways, not just for the youth, our students. I think it's been most trying for them. Definitely. And this past year with them being back in the classroom, it was a road. I think a lot of the children hit a roadblock. Some children have fell behind.
I hit a roadblock.
Some were right on track. And some, persevered and they were okay. But we had a lot of youth who struggled with not necessarily learning disorder, but falling behind on their studies as a result of not being in the classroom and not having that person-to-person interaction with their teachers and being able to ask questions and get a full-blown on understanding without being in front of a computer screen. But, they struggle with mental health issues. They struggled with social, emotional issues, not being able to connect with their peers. So a lot of that went into them not being in the proper learning environment because it was uncomfortable in itself, not because the teachers didn't try to make their learning environment the best learning environment that they could have in this environment, but just because it became a normal for them after 2 years of being in quarantine and having to stay home and not being able to interact or go anywhere. And for the parents, we were going to work, a lot of us, but for the youth, they were just stuck in the house. They couldn't go to the grocery store. They didn't go, anywhere that we were able to go to make sure that we provided for them. They literally just stayed in the house. And as for the teachers and the parents, the teachers took on a burden that they had never had to take on before. It's very challenging to be a teacher in itself. So kudos to the teachers.
Yes.
because
Shout out to all the teachers in the
if we didn't realize before, we realize now how much it takes to be a teacher, how much goes into it, how much hard work it is. And I'm going to say firsthand, they do deserve more money. They deserve more time off. They deserve shorter days, whatever it is that they want. Coming from a parent's perspective, because I had 3 children home learning virtually. However, also for the parents, it was a struggle for us because we were trying to balance going to work and leaving our children, having them do virtual and holding them accountable.
Or
and
not even being able to go to work
that,
and provide for your children and being able to do the things you normally would.
Exactly. So, I just wanted to make sure that I touched on the struggle in itself for the community, for the world, because this was an international pandemic and everybody was going through it and none of us knew what hit us. So I would just want to say, going into this school year, take it one day at a time, reflect back on last year, but, be confident and believe in yourself and have some compassion and some grace for yourself. And this is for everybody, for the students, for the teachers, for the parents. It's going to take some time for us to get back to normal, but we can do it and we have to do it together. So each of us need to, hold each other accountable. We need to work with each other. We need to be patient with each other. But as long as we are all doing our part, we'll get back to it. So we're here for you. I'm here for you. And I want everybody to just, take a deep breath and get excited, because I'm excited. And yes, it's because the kids are going back to school.
Yeah. So I thank you guys so much. So much for joining us today. Thank you for just your support for me as an individual, not even just in Talking Tipsy, but just in my life. I really appreciate you. I ain't gonna get emotional because I'm a crybaby, so I ain't gonna do it. Somebody cut onions, and I don't like it. But I just want to thank you guys for just being genuine to me. And I just love you guys so much. And thank you guys for joining us on Talking Tipsy. This was our first of many episodes. And I really appreciate you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe to my Instagram page for exclusive content. And once again, sponsored by Bacardi. We got Patron here today. We got Councilman Richard Wyatt. We got Board Vice President Hanae Wyatt. And of course, your girl, the bar chemist, Candace. I'll see you guys soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Cheers.